I'm saying Lauren introduced me to Puff.
Oh, got you.
I mean, I knew Puff, but it was more of a personal relationship after, we was at Cassie's birthday.
That's why, you know what the #1 job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is?
What?
Is to act like it didn't happen. They all do the same job.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like Nip came to me and said, I want you to mentor me. I want to get into real estate. I want you to teach me all your, like your business secrets. You know what I'm saying? I was like, whenever you got questions, pull up. And then on his last album, people do not know this. Somebody tried to jerk me, but I fixed it. I actually am one of the executive producers of Nipsey Hussle's last album.
Victory Lap.
Yeah, Victory Lap.
I cracked you up.
Katt Williams just dropped another bombshell. Looks like he's far from done putting the industry on blast. Word on the street is that Katt's holding on to some heavy info, something wild about the real connection between Diddy and Nipsey Hussle. And with Diddy's federal case heating up, things are getting intense fast. Now, nobody knows for sure how this trial's gonna play out, but one thing's clear: answers are coming. People are starting to believe that some of the long-standing theories about what happened to Nipsey might finally be getting real attention. But here's where it gets wild. What kind of shady operation was Diddy really caught up in that pulled Nipsey into the mix? And how does Katt Williams tie into the bigger story? The streets are buzzing, and folks want the truth. If you've been paying attention, you've probably already heard Lauren London's name tossed around in connection to Diddy's federal case. That's right. People are questioning how she's even tied to this mess.
Hook up with the biggest rapper at the time. Everything's great. By the way, isn't she? Lauren is the one that introduced Nip to Diddy. Diddy couldn't even get to Nip, even though he had ties in LA. It was Lauren that brought Nip to him.
And why she's suddenly being pulled into the spotlight. But it turns out, Lauren might have known about Diddy's dirty ways for a long time. Sources say she was fully aware of how Diddy was treating Cassie and knew all about his shady past. Some even claim that behind closed doors, Lauren might have been one of Diddy's secret women, right alongside names like Young Miami. That theory has been floating for a minute now, and it's catching more attention by the day. So after everything that's come out, isn't it wild that Lauren still went ahead and introduced Nipsey to Diddy? That move got people seriously scratching their heads. Like, why would she link them up if she already knew Diddy's history? That decision is raising some big questions. And it wasn't just Jaguar Wright speaking up. Nope, it goes way deeper than that. Even Nipsey himself confirmed it. Remember that moment on The Breakfast Club? He looked right at the camera and said, "Lauren's the one who introduced me to Puff." That wasn't a rumor. He put it out there clear as day. Now, the talk in the streets and among some of Nipsey's biggest supporters is that Lauren might have played a bigger part than just being a supportive girlfriend. Some believe she wasn't just in the background holding him down, but that she might have been placed in his life to keep tabs on him. That's right. There are claims that she was Diddy's inside link, acting like his eyes and ears.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like Nip came to me and said, I want you to mentor me. I want to get into real estate. I want you to teach me all your, like your business secrets. You know what I'm saying? I was like, whenever you got questions, pull up. And then on his last album, people do not know this. Somebody tried to jerk me, but I fixed it. I actually am one of the executive producers of Nipsey Hussle's last album.
Victory Lap.
Yeah, Victory Lap.
Watching Nipsey's every move. And it doesn't stop there. Things got even deeper when Diddy himself said in an interview that Nipsey wanted to learn from me, how I did business, how I made moves. That line sent shockwaves through the culture. Because if you listen close, it sounds way more controlling than inspirational. Something about it just feels off. Now fast forward to Nipsey's tragic death, and people are circling right back to those ties, asking serious questions. Did Diddy's influence actually help Nipsey, or did it do more harm than good? And now, things are spiraling into full-blown chaos, because Katt Williams just jumped in again. And he's not holding back at all. Katt claims that any artist who linked up with Diddy always ended up paying a heavy price, sometimes with everything they had. Just think about it. Look at all the names that worked with Diddy over the years. Cassie?
Puff.
I'm saying Lauren introduced me to Puff.
Oh, got you.
I mean, I knew Puff, but it was more of a personal relationship after, we was at Cassie's birthday.
Meek Mill, YK Osiris, French Montana, Craig Mack, Danity Kane, every one of them got a dark story attached to their time around Diddy. Now folks are really starting to side-eye that whole mentorship narrative Diddy's been pushing. A lot of people say it looks more like a trap than a blessing. And with those old clips of Diddy and Nipsey suddenly resurfacing, the whispers about whether Diddy had more than just business interests in Nipsey are getting way louder and a whole lot harder to ignore. In one of the resurfaced videos, Diddy's seen licking his lips and zooming in on Nipsey like he was admiring him a little too hard. Meanwhile, Nipsey looked completely focused, just vibing to the music, unaware of what was happening behind the scenes. And let's not forget, Katt Williams once said he turned down $50 million. Not once, but 4 different times, just so he could keep his dignity. That statement hits different now. It really makes you stop and wonder what kind of wild stuff was really going on behind closed doors. Katt Williams straight up said Diddy tried to pull him into something shady, but Katt wasn't having it and shut it down quick. That's the kind of energy that made people start paying closer attention. And it wasn't just Katt. Terrence Howard shared something real similar. He said Diddy approached him like it was all business at first, trying to build a professional connection. But according to Terrence, the vibe shifted fast, and he bailed before it turned into something he couldn't control. Now people are starting to really connect the dots. There's growing talk that Diddy might have been trying to make moves on Nipsey, and when Nipsey wasn't going for it, things reportedly got tense between them. The speculation is only growing, and folks are digging up more and more receipts. When it comes to Lauren and Diddy, the streets are in full-blown gossip mode. Old photos have popped back up, showing Lauren and Diddy looking real close. But here's the wildest part. Nipsey is right there in the background of one pic, and he looks like a third wheel in his own relationship. That visual has people asking all kinds of questions. Then after Nipsey's passing, Lauren sat down for an interview with Angie Martinez. And things got real strange. She mentioned that it was Diddy who helped her through the grief. Sounds innocent at first, until she quoted what Diddy said to her, "Look, boo."
Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music. And he's sitting there, just looking at it, like waiting. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to f*** you. That's what my assistant said. I was like, oh, now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you notice to be hands off with somebody. A number of producers coming to make the approach, and you punch them in the mouth, threaten to knock their head off for talking to you like, or looking at you like you're a woman. You know, when you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're gonna get a real reaction. It's a difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks into a room. And a man don't take the same things that a guy will accept. So always be the man in the room.
You have shown everybody what it looks like to hold a man down and to love him. Now, show them what it looks like when it all crumbles. That's your responsibility. That line left people speechless. Lauren casually mentioned that Diddy used to call her Boo, a nickname that was deeply personal and once used by Nipsey himself. That instantly raised red flags everywhere. Why would Diddy be using the same nickname that held meaning between Lauren and Nipsey? Unless there was something else going on behind the scenes? That detail alone had folks looking at their bond way differently. Meanwhile, Nipsey was out here staying true to himself, moving independently and staying far from Hollywood's shady games. But Lauren, she had deep ties to that circle. She had connections, she had access. And once she brought Nipsey into that environment, things started going left real fast. Enter the Diddy drama. After she introduced him to that world, everything shifted. And then came the storm. Former bad boy insider Gene Deal stepped forward and sounded the alarm. He warned about what really happens when artists start making certain requests in the industry. especially ones that mess with powerful people's plans. Gene shared a chilling moment where Nipsey told him he wanted his music to capture the same energy as Biggie's Life After Death album. Now let that sink in. That was the album Biggie dropped right before his life was taken. The symbolism alone sent shivers down people's spines. And according to Gene, that one request, that one ambition, was Nipsey's biggest mistake. Because once Diddy entered the picture, everything changed. Nipsey suddenly started spending way more time at Diddy's mansion than in the studio. And that's when people say the whole vibe shifted dramatically. It's like once Diddy had Nipsey in his orbit, everything started to shift. Nipsey began looking more drained, more distant, like the weight of something heavy was dragging him down. Fans noticed the change too. This wasn't the same sharp-focused Nipsey they had grown to respect. Something was off, and the energy felt different. Maybe it was because Diddy couldn't control him. Nipsey was smart, outspoken, and stood for something real. He moved with a purpose and refused to play Hollywood's game. He was too solid to be molded, too grounded to be anyone's puppet. That kind of independence doesn't sit well in circles where control is everything. And then come the whispers. People saying Diddy had his eyes on Lauren behind the scenes. Some believe that once Nipsey was out of the way, Diddy thought he could move in.
You taking a spiritual person who's asking for something. He said, I wanted that same feel as life after death. That same feel was that Biggie got and he went on to sell about 10 million albums or 10 million copies. I was saying, you gotta watch what you say to demons because it just might come true.
And claim Lauren as his next prize. But let's be honest, Diddy's track record with women tells a whole different story. He didn't treat Cassie like royalty. Instead, she was caught in a situation full of control and manipulation. Their relationship was far from the fairy tale he tried to paint. Then there's Kim Porter, the mother of his children. She passed under heartbreaking circumstances after enduring years of emotional strain, allegedly caused by Diddy's behavior. So when people suggest Diddy had pure intentions toward Lauren, that's hard to believe. This isn't about love. It's about domination, power, control. Diddy's history speaks louder than his social media captions. Think about it. When Biggie passed, Diddy dropped a Grammy-winning tribute and then used that moment to launch his solo career, straight up profiting from the pain. When Kim passed, he switched into the spiritual father role, posing as the grieving, evolved family man, all while living a double life. And when Nipsey died, Diddy was quick to post about Lauren, pushing messages about healing and legacy, trying to slide into a narrative he never truly earned. Now here's where it gets even crazier. People started digging deeper into Diddy's history, and suddenly, all these familiar patterns began to resurface. It wasn't just about one artist or one situation. This started looking like a cycle. Artists rise up, link with Diddy, and suddenly, something always goes left. Careers stall, drama erupts, some vanish completely. It's like there's a curse attached to that bad boy empire. And as more footage and stories come out, it's clear Diddy didn't just have influence. He had a grip, a powerful one. But what's disturbing is how often that power was used to isolate, manipulate, and shift the narrative. People weren't just working with him. They were being molded, broken down, or pushed into roles that fit his vision, not their own. Even industry veterans are now stepping out of the shadows to speak on it. They're saying it out loud. Diddy's empire was built on silence, sacrifice, and secrets. And those who didn't play by the rules, they were either pushed out, blackballed, or worse, forgotten. That kind of environment is toxic, and it's one more reason why Nipsey's involvement with Diddy never sat right with his core fan base. Now, with Katt Williams tearing back the curtain, more insiders feel safe speaking up. The fear is crumbling, the silence is breaking, And with federal investigators still watching Diddy closely, every old video, every offhand quote, every suspicious relationship is being re-examined under a new light. People want the truth now, and they're not letting it go this time. What started as whispers is now a full-blown storm.
Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. I did.
The legacy Diddy once built is under fire. Not just from the media, but from the very people who helped create it. And this time, there's no more hiding behind flashy suits, expensive drinks, or all-white parties. The world's watching, and the clock's ticking. Every time someone with power or impact passes away, Diddy somehow manages to place himself right at the center of the spotlight. That's the pattern. So here's the real question. Was he trying to stage yet another legacy moment after Nipsey was taken out? Rumors are swirling that Diddy didn't just admire Nipsey. Some say he saw him as a stepping stone, a target, a way to build something new off of someone else's name. But even if that was the plan, somebody had to give him access. And now, more eyes are turning toward Lauren. People are asking, did she unintentionally open that door? Or was there more to it? As for Katt Williams, he saw this whole situation unraveling long before the public caught wind of it, long before the headlines, long before the arrest. He warned about the trap Diddy was setting, the contracts, the parties, the pressure, and the setups. Katt spoke on the blackmail, the manipulation, and the industry games way before it all went mainstream. And now, the internet is piecing it all together in real time. One online commenter didn't hold back, writing, "Lauren was set up to be with Nipsey by Diddy." It's bold, but people are connecting dots. Don't forget, Lauren publicly thanked Diddy during Nipsey's funeral. That moment still sits uneasy with a lot of fans. Another post claimed, Diddy did what he did to Big, jumped on the album and planned his death to hold on to the royalties. And with Diddy's past history of controlling, aggressive behavior resurfacing, the public wants answers. Was Lauren just caught in the storm? Or was she more involved than anyone realized? And the biggest question of all, could Diddy have played a deeper role in what happened to Nipsey? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This story is still unfolding and far from over. And if you're here for bold truths and unfiltered takes, make sure to like, subscribe, and tap that next video popping up on your screen right now.